Hello everyone, today is 7th of January, day when the vast majority of Orthodox Christianity is celebrating Christmas. So happy Christmas to everyone who celebrates today, as I do and my family, and a wonderful, wonderful day. Now it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze, and this is my first update for the day, in which I'll share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. Most likely, towards the evening, I will at least try to publish second news update on my Patreon and Boosty pages with additional main news that Russian media will report about. Let's see if there will be no technical issues, because yesterday, unfortunately, there was some massive error in Russian segment of internet, and it was quite difficult to work and to upload anything anywhere. I was kind of lucky that I managed to upload at least first update on YouTube and Rumble. But anyways, that's being said, let's go through some news now. And first of all, information about developments in the Kursk salient area, where the regime on 5th of January launched a local scale offensive operation to somewhat improve its positions. And so we have this report here from RT that Russian forces have crushed Kyiv's latest attempt to expand its military foothold in the Kursk region, destroying 10 Ukrainian tanks along with several other armored vehicles in a counteroffensive. The Defense Ministry of the Russian Federation said in a statement on Monday. Military officials in Moscow said that Russian troops continue to rout their Ukrainian armed forces formations in the Kursk region. According to ministry, Ukrainian advance focused on the town of Bolshoye Soldatskoye, and the Russian forces have destroyed Kyiv's main strike group with the support of Air Force and artillery. In the past 24 hours, the Ukrainian military has lost a total of 485 troops, 10 tanks, 7 infantry fighting vehicles, 5 armored personnel carriers, artillery gun, electronic warfare system, and multiple other vehicles in the Kursk region alone. The statement reads, in a separate briefing on Sunday, the Russian Defense Ministry said that Ukrainian forces have launched their assault earlier that day in the hope to stopping the advances of Russian troops. And as I already said, there seems like direction of this local scale offensive operation of the Kyiv regime's forces was this village of Bolshoye Soldatskoye. And let me show you on the map this area. So this is Kursk salient, by the way. You have to zoom in big time to notice this place that is temporarily occupied by invading forces of the Kyiv regime and NATO mercenaries. Although I notice, and many of you probably also, that in the Western propaganda, by the way, this whole ordeal of these borderline skirmishes have been presented as if Kyiv regime is occupying almost half of Russia, which is, I mean, you tell me what that is, really. How desperate Western propagandists are that they are trying to present this Kursk salient as something of immense strategical importance. I mean, it's total nonsense, isn't it? I mean, just look at it, man. You have to really zoom in to get to a point there, right? So this is Sudzha district, basically. That's the only area that is still, yet again, temporarily controlled by this invading force. And on northern eastern side, this is the direction that Kyiv regime's formations start this offensive, initially in direction of Berdin village, tiny village, nothing of strategical importance in military terms. And this is Bolshoye Soldatskoye settlement. Kyiv regime was hoping, according to Russian militaries and according to many military experts, Kiev regime was hoping that after establishing control over the Berdin, they would move towards Большое Солдатское, which is a relatively large settlement for sure, somewhat similar in size to Suja, and obviously Kiev regime's forces were unable to reach Большое Солдатское. They did reach Berdin settlement, and they were stopped there and they're basically decimated. And Russian Defense Ministry is providing quite a detailed information about losses that Kiev regime suffered in this area in terms of military equipment, and obviously casualty numbers among military personnel is also quite high. On 5th of January, Kiev regime suffered during this local scale counteroffensive more than 150 casualties, Kiev regime's forces. And today, Defense Ministry most likely will provide us information about casualties of Kiev regime for yesterday, for 6th of January, and I'm quite sure casualties are very significant. So much so that more and more reports are coming in that Kiev regime's forces, many units of the Kiev regime forces, are just simply lay down arms and surrendering whenever they have such an opportunity. So, as I said yesterday, your friends, situation is under full Russian control. I know Western propaganda is trying to present this local scale offensive operation as something of I don't know, immense importance, some crucial development or something, which is total nonsense, right? Most likely, Kiev regime was, hoping to little bit improve its positions. Also, it is highly likely that Kiev regime was trying to divert attention of Russian leadership, Russian militaries, from other sectors of the front line, where we might see yet another suicidal invading operation attempt, at least by Kiev regime, for example, in the direction of Belgorod region or Bryansk region, but they failed. Kiev regime once again failed, and failed miserably, right? Also, we have TASS news agency's report that the Russian armed forces established full control over the Dachinskaya settlement, which is on southern side of Pokrovsk settlement, and Russian troops are getting closer and closer, dear friends, to Pokrovsk itself. So this is Pokrovsk city, major logistical hub of Kiev regime, and this is Dachinskaya settlement on the southern eastern part. According to some reports, Russian troops already are conducting military operations in Zverevo settlement, this village which is literally borders with Pokrovsk. So Russian troops are just in a couple of kilometers away from the city, and I'm quite sure Russian DRGs already are operating inside the city and on its premises, not just and this goes not just for Pokrovsk but also for Mirnograd, because as you can see on the map, dear friends, these two settlements, Pokrovsk, Mirnograd, are agglomeration. And as far as I understand, locals even considering this agglomeration as a one city, Pokrovsk. Anyways, the progress of Russian armed forces continues on the zone of special military operation, and of course in the zone of counter-terrorist operation in Kursk salient. And as I said previously, under current rate of advances of the Russian armed forces and under current rate of losses on part of Kiev regime, I think it will take maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks at maximum, and there will be no more invading troops left in the Kursk salient area. Although, of course, it depends on strategy of Russian general staff. One may argue that it is it is even somewhat useful, militarily speaking, to let Kiev regime hold to certain areas in the Kursk salient area for time being, because due to this, Kiev regime has no option but to keep significant number of its troops out of other sectors of the front line, which makes significantly easier for Russian armed forces to conduct offensive operations and move forward, which is exactly what is happening. Just in last several weeks, Russian armed forces have liberated dozens and dozens of settlements on southern Donetsk sector of the front line, on Pokrovsk sector of the front line, and of course you all know about this progress. Also, dear friends, interestingly, French President Emmanuel Macron has remembered about existence of Ukraine, and he once again spoke about Ukrainian crisis. Let's go through this news here. So, resolving the Russia-Ukraine conflict will not be quick or easy and will require Kyiv to face the issue of territory. French President Emmanuel Macron has warned, speaking to an annual conference of ambassadors at the Elysee Palace on Monday. Macron addressed a number of global issues, including conflict between Moscow and Kyiv. Ukrainians, and then quote, Ukrainians need to hold a realistic discussion on the territorial questions, and only they can do that, the French president said. United States of America has to help us change the nature of the situation and convince Russia to come to a negotiating table, while the European members of NATO have the responsibility to craft security guarantees for Ukraine. Macron added, while no specific peace proposal has been made public, rumors in the media have suggested that US President-elect Donald Trump intends to propose a ceasefire that would freeze the conflict along the current front lines. Some Western governments have sought to handle Kyiv's expected objections to this by offering Ukraine security guarantees while stopping short of NATO membership. Well, I already spoke about these potential proposals from future administration of US, and it is absolutely unacceptable for Russia. There will be no freezing of the conflict. There will be no NATO troops on a line of contact, at least outside of Western Ukraine, that's for sure. And Macron definitely not a person who can play any significant role in whatever is ahead of in regards to a Ukrainian crisis. I'm paying attention to this news just because, after all, at least formally, Macron is a president of France. Although we all understand he is a puppet of Rothschilds, right? He is nobody, and that's it. That's about it. And when it comes to Rothschilds, by the way, of course, we all are familiar with this criminal entity or criminal clan that terrorizes world community for centuries now, right? And have to be neutralized, as many other terrorist clans, criminal clans that were created in the Western world and get filthy rich due to their criminal activity worldwide. Am I correct? I am. And dear friends, also interesting news here. I already mentioned this in the beginning, that yesterday some massive error occurred in Russian segment of internet, and TASS news agency and many other media outlets obviously reported about it. And as far as I can tell, there was some major error in technical error in operations of one of their major main communications company here in Russia, and then chain reaction began, and at some point yesterday it was almost impossible to access any platform at all. I was a bit lucky that I managed to upload the first update on YouTube, because straight after, it did not it was not even hour once I uploaded video, and there are some significant difficulties start occurring in work of internet. So I'm sharing this news so that you to know that if you were trying to access some platforms in Russian segment of internet and you are struggling with it, that's the reason, by the way. This morning I did not notice any issues, and hopefully there will be no more errors. Let's see. Some more news, dear friends. TASS news agency is reporting that Houthi rebels are claiming, Yemeni Houthi rebels are claiming that they launched yet another missile and drone attack on U.S. aircraft carrier. This time on USS Harry Truman in the Red Sea. Obviously, no details are provided there, although I have some doubts that this drone and missile strike was successful and the aircraft carrier was damaged. But anything is possible. Maybe during the day we will hear anything from Pentagon, or maybe not. But Houthi rebels time after time are demonstrating that despite Israeli attacks, despite attacks of US and UK, they still are formidable force, and they're well capable of launching long-range strikes. So one day they might even, deal some significant damage to US or British naval forces. And as you all know, almost on daily basis, Houthi rebels are launching missiles and drones towards Israel. RT is also reporting that Turkey is intent to intervene at slightest risk of Syria's splintering. This was stated by Erdogan. Let's go through this news also. So Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has warned that his country will intervene if necessary to avoid any division of Syria, and will be uncompromising in its determination. The comments from Erdogan are seen as a warning to a Kurdish-dominated Syrian democratic forces, as well as to the US, which backs the group against Islamic State forces. We cannot accept under any pretext that Syria be divided, and if we notice the slightest risk, we will take the necessary measures, the Turkish leader said in remarks following their first cabinet meeting in 2025. He added that Ankara has more than enough power, capacity, and talent to do this. Okay, stronger words from Erdogan, strong statements and warnings towards Kurdish rebels mainly, and their allies, US, UK, France, even Germany. Is Turkey really in a position to launch large-scale military operation against Kurdish forces? I don't think so. Will US allow Turkey to carry out such an operation? Most likely no. But who knows? Maybe Erdogan sees a big picture other way, and he is convinced that it is time for Turkey to completely engulf Syria. I mean, this is a big mistake on part of Ankara, by the way. Syria is a bite that Turkey cannot swallow. I mean, it will kill it. Or it might kill it. We will find out. Just give it another 5-10 years, and we will find out. Will Turkey manage to survive these imperialistic ambitions of Erdogan? TASS news agency, meanwhile, is reporting that President-elect of US Donald Trump once again spoke about Greenland. And not just Greenland, but this news is about that huge island And well, he said that residents of Greenland will benefit greatly if Greenland would become a part of US. And well, that might happen, by the way. Maybe Greenland will not become part of US, but Washington will do whatever it takes to make sure that Greenland is gaining independence from Denmark, and then US will have a 100% indirect control over the island and its riches, right? That's main purpose of activity of US in regards to Greenland, as far as I understand, and also potentially US leadership maybe wants to build something similar to Russian North Sea route. And well, if that's the case, of course, they would need Greenland in that case, right? Because just take a look at the map, dear friends. So this is a Northern Sea route, Russian Northern Sea route, and the US can build something similar, right, from Alaska to this archipelagos there, and then Greenland's coastline, and then Europe. Although I don't know, man. I don't know. Most likely, US is interested in rare earth materials that Greenland is rich with. What else should be the reason that US is that active in regards to this island? I don't know. You tell me, dear friends, what is your opinion? What is going on between US, Denmark in regards to this island? Biggest island in this world, isn't it? So yes, he spoke about it. Also, dear friends, when it comes to Greenlander, he said that he's sending his son. I posted on my Telegram channel this morning a post of Donald Trump on True Social Media. Let me read it for you. So I am hearing that the people of Greenland are MAGA. My son, Donald Jr., and various representatives will be traveling there to visit some of the most magnificent areas and sites. Greenland is an incredible place, and people will benefit tremendously if and when it becomes part of our nation. We will protect it and cherish it from a very vicious outside world. Make Greenland great again. Okay, man. It's difficult to comment such stuff, right? In one way, because can you imagine Russia or China or I don't know, India or any other country reacting this way, right? That making claims on territories that has nothing to do with US, right? Historically, culturally, or by any means, right? And there seems like Denmark can do nothing about it, and Brussels is also quiet. Did you notice how quiet Brussels is? Not even a single statement, nothing. Which is quite telling. And well, that's why I'm saying, dear friends, it is highly likely that Greenland will become under full US control, directly or indirectly, as a part of US or as a US proxy. But that is going to happen, and Denmark will most likely lose this island. And when it comes to Trump's statements, by the way, he also spoke about Canada. He commented on the resignation of Trudeau from leadership of Liberal Party there. And most likely, once new leader will be elected, Trudeau will leave post of prime minister also. And the U.S. president-elect once again reiterated that it will be immensely beneficial for Canada to become 51st state of the U.S. I mean, in regards to Greenland, I think that island most likely will become under control of U.S. Canada is little bit different story, isn't it? Because Canada has some history of statehood, right? And Canada also has some relatively strong connections with Europe also, especially Quebec, right? And I don't think Canadians will be that keen really to join US. Although who knows, by the way. I mean, friends, our friends from Canada can share their opinion. Do they really want to become a part of US or not? Will that really benefit them in any ways, or it will be more damaging? Because you can imagine what energy companies will do to Canada. I mean, they will dig out everything, right? And Canada, as we all know, are pretty rich with many minerals, many elements. I think nothing to be said about oil and gas. There is oil sands, isn't it, in Canada? Or sand oils, or how you say it. I mean, when ground is filled with oil, and as far as I understand, there is huge deposits of such a sand in Canada, and it makes Canada one of the big players on a world energy market, isn't it? Extraction of oil from this oil-rich sand. Anyways, seems like Trump and influential groups that are behind him are very, very much determined to establish control over their unchallenged control over the Greenland and Canada, and we're gonna see some major developments in this regard for sure in upcoming years. And this is not all when it comes to U.S. Interventions to policies or internal policies of other countries. Elon Musk, yet again, Elon Musk is on fire, by the way, and now he is calling for regime change in UK. This is not a joke, man. I mean, he is calling for regime change in UK. I understand, by the way, that many citizens of UK may even sympathize with ideas because they fed up with corrupt elites, right? But same time, I don't think you can really applaud foreign intervention, right? If regime has to be changed, it should be done by British people under their own initiative, not by under dictate or recommendations from the outside, right? That's how I understand the situation. But anyways, let's go through this news. Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has continued to spur online with the top British leadership, suggesting Washington should become involved and liberate the Brits from their supposedly tyrannical government. The billionaire conducted a poll on the idea on Monday on his social media platform X, asking users whether America should liberate the people of Britain from their tyrannical government. Their proposal got a positive reception, with nearly 59% of respondents backing it. More than 1.4 million people voted on the issue in less than 12 hours. The apparent regime change suggestion aimed at continued attack launched last week by US-based billionaire against the top British leadership. Musk has targeted British Prime Minister Keir Starmer accusing him of failing to tackle their grooming gangs issue and to properly investigate numerous assaults on underage girls at the time of incumbent prime minister headed the UK's Crown Prosecution Service from 2008 to 2013. Allegations are definitely very serious. Topic is very serious, undoubtedly. But when it comes to regime change in UK and Elon Musk's connection with it, well, that's it is interesting to know what British people are thinking about. Many people in UK most likely are for changes among elites, because I can believe that they really fed up with these corrupt criminals that are using and abusing UK, right? But yet again, question is, would you find it acceptable foreign intervention as a helping hand in that business of updating elites? But anyways, yet again, can you imagine if any Russian billionaire or any Russian public or political figure start talking like that about any country, by the way, that regime changes are necessary and this and that, it would be massive meltdown in the West, right, among political class, among media and stuff. But when it comes to statements of Trump and Elon Musk, these Western so-called political elites are a bit cautious because they're just, they're simply afraid. They are attacking Musk quite often, but they're, I doubt that they will dare to attack Trump. Anyways, let's continue. And well, unfortunately, there was a 7th magnitude earthquake in Tibet, southern western part of China, and tragically 53 people has been killed as a result of this earthquake. This is preliminary data. 62 people are among casualties of this earthquake, received some injuries, but yet again this is preliminary data, and of course during the day most likely there will be update on this information. RIA Novosti is reporting that well, North Korea test fired their new type of hypersonic missile with a range of 1500 kilometers. According to reports that I see, this missile reached a height of almost 100 kilometers, and then this warhead fell down on a designated area of Pacifics, I believe. So significant jump, I will say, for North Korea in regards to missile technologies. They are now well capable to build hypersonic weapons, and one may ask how they gain such a how they manage to achieve such a progress. And well, there might be some speculations on this matter, and some may even argue that well, Russia did not put up any barriers for North Korea to achieve such success, because right next to North Korea there is Russia and China, leading countries when it comes to hypersonic weaponry, right? So there might be some connections there, or they might be not. We just simply don't know. But news is interesting, and I'm quite sure Japan and South Korea are watching these developments in full seriousness and analyzing situation. And I'm quite sure U.S. military bases in the region also, and U.S. military leadership, because North Korean missiles are becoming more and more sophisticated with more and more range, and the US has quite a lot of military installations in that part of the world, from South Korea and Japan to Guam, Hawaii, and so on, right? Let's continue with some more news. And the Kommersant newspaper is reporting that Biden officially banned drilling on a shelf of the US, on the US coastline, drilling for gas or oil. And well, this is a big deal, obviously. This is a big deal. I guess this decision was made by Joe Biden to, under pressure of all sorts of environmentalists. But once Trump is in office, I guess it will take only maybe like few weeks, and he will undo this ban of Biden. And I'm quite sure U.S. energy companies will have a green light to drill just about everywhere they want, on the ground, on the shelf, on mainland U.S. or in Alaska, just about everywhere. Because I mean, we can all see, isn't it, quite strong connection between Trump's team, Trump, and the energy companies, right? Major energy companies, and not just that. Anyways, let's continue. And the huge news, dear friends, in terms of world economy and world geopolitics. Yesterday, media here in Russia reported that the fourth most populous country in this world, Indonesia, by the way, joined the BRICS and become a full member of this foundational stone of the emerging multipolar world. So Indonesia has formally joined BRICS as a full member. Brazil, which currently holds the group's rotating presidency, announced on Monday. BRICS, okay, we know where, when and how BRICS was founded. Next sentence, Indonesia's candidacy was endorsed by BRICS leaders back in 2023. Yet the world's fourth most populous nation of over 270 million opted to join the group only after the formation of its new government last year. Indonesia shares with the other members of the group support for the reform of global governance institutions and contributes positively to their deepening of cooperation in the global south, the Brazilian government said in a statement. And this is obviously a big deal, by the way. Indonesia is a major country, obviously, in the global south and in this world, not just because it's fourth most populous country in the world, as far as I understand, after China, India, US. I mean, Indonesia is a fourth. But Indonesia also is one of the major economies in this world, right? Especially in global south, in the Pacific, and obviously it is once again demonstration that this process of creation of multipolar world is just unstoppable. It's just unstoppable. And at one point, unfortunately, because Western ruling class is unable to compromise, unable to face the reality, at some point, world probably will get divided into two parts. There will be Western world and the rest of the world, and there will be two economical systems that will not really compete with each other, because Western economical system, I mean, hardly will be in a position to compete against the rest of the world. But there will be these two separate, relatively separate from each other blocks, and who knows how long it will take, probably decades and decades, before some sort of reunification will happen. And it will happen for sure once some normal people, adequate people will be will replace psychopaths that are currently in charge of collective West, or so-called Western ruling class, right? So big deal, obviously. Indonesia is a full member of the BRICS now, and there I will end this update, dear friends, on this quite interesting news also, that according to Bloomberg, European countries are buying or ordering now more gas, more Russian LNG than Russia was exporting to Europe through a pipeline that goes through Ukraine. I don't know how Bloomberg find out this, how they know level or volumes of purchases that European countries are making when it comes to Russian gas, but that's what their claim is, that now Russia is actually selling to European states even more gas than before Ukraine shut down this gas pipeline that goes through territory of this former Soviet Republic, which is quite interesting, isn't it? Quite interesting. Despite all the attempts of Western ruling class, European so-called elites, political elites, to paint the picture that they no longer have any cooperation with Russia or no longer need anything from Russia. In reality, situation is quite different, and directly or indirectly, many European states are still continue to purchase goods from Russia as they were doing before all these sanction wars and Ukrainian crisis and so on. So interesting news, isn't it, that Russia now is selling more gas to Europe than before Ukraine shut down its transit pipeline. I don't know how Bloomberg knows that this fast. I mean, year just begun, right? But probably they have some sources. Anyways, dear friends, I will end this update on this interesting news. Hopefully you will find the update informative and useful, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. Share information about my channel with your friends and video. And finally, if you like my work, if you think I deserve to be in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support this project with donations through PayPal or Boosty platform, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. All the links are on this video in description box and in the pinned comment, including crypto wallet, by the way, if you are good with cryptocurrencies. This is it for now. Once again, happy Christmas to everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and take care.